What's up guys, Brad Danger here, and what's the fastest little car company that shot up like a rocket in the 2000s, then vanished just as quickly, only to make a surprise comeback nearly a decade later? Well, we're talking about Scion, baby, Toyota's funky sub-brand for the youth. This is the story of how Scion went from zero to hero, then gone, and then unexpectedly returned to a totally new form. I'm telling it from my perspective, a huge Scion fanboy, as someone who actually loves what Scion stood for. I even owned a Scion FRS, which I sold recently, and I wish I didn't. But I feel like that thing was like a baby Porsche. Remember to like, subscribe, and go to winthisIdealCar.com to get entered to win your dream car plus cash. Let's go. In the late 90s, Toyota had a reputation for rock-solid reliability and rock-solid blandness. Sure, Camrys and Corollas were everywhere, but younger buyers found them boring. By the early 2000s, millennials wanted cars that were cool, customizable, and expressive. Tuner culture was booming, thanks to the Fast and the Furious and games like Need for Speed. And brands like Honda and Nissan offered sporty, mod-friendly cars that made Toyota's lineup seem stodgy. Toyota's solution? Create an entirely new brand for the youth market. Free of the stodgy image. Unveiled in 2002 and launched in 2003, Scion was Toyota's experiment to win over young drivers. The first models were the Scion XA and Scion XB. The XA was a small hatchback, practical but not very exciting. The XB, on the other hand, was a funky little box on wheels that turned heads. People joked it looked like a toaster, but its quirky style became the face of Scion. These cars were deliberately different from regular Toyotas. Scion's mantra was affordable, customizable, and hip. Each car came in one basic spec, keeping costs down, but you could deck it out with tons of accessories, body kits, rims, subwoofers, you name it. Buying Scion was hassle-free too. A no-haggle pure price policy meant you paid the sticker price, no shady dealer negotiations. For young first-time buyers, that was a huge plus. And it worked. Scion immediately drew in younger customers. The average Scion buyer was around 30, a whole decade younger than Toyota's average. Toyota had successfully made a cool sub-brand that spoke to the kids. And then Scion hit the ground running. In 2004, they added the Scion TC, a sporty two-door coupe that I personally love the design language of. And the TC had sleek looks, a trusty Toyota engine, and a price perfect for young buyers' budgets. It quickly became Scion's bestseller. I wonder why. By 2006, Scion sales were soaring. At their peak, they sold around 170,000 cars a year, huge for a brand with just a few models. For a while, Scion was one of the fastest growing car brands in America. It seemed like every car meet had an XB or TC decked out with mods. A big part of this success was Scion's non-traditional marketing. Instead of typical car ads, Scion sponsored music events, art shows, and video game tournaments. The brand was presented as a lifestyle. This made Scion feel authentic to young people. It wasn't your dad's Toyota, it was something new and edgy that you could make your own. For a few years, everything was going right for Scion until it wasn't. After the mid-2000s high, Scion ran into some trouble, like a lot. The first blow was the 2008 financial crisis, which hit young buyers hardest. Suddenly, a lot of Scion's target customers didn't have money for a new car. Sales took a dive. Next, competition ramped up. Other companies rolled out their own youth-oriented cars. The Kia Soul, for example, was a funky boxy car like the XB and grabbed some of Scion's market. Meanwhile, Scion's lineup was getting stale. The second-gen XB grew larger and lost some of its quirky charm. The XA was replaced by the XD in 2008, but the XD was pretty forgettable. Scion was no longer the freshest thing on the block. Another issue was an identity crisis. Scion models began overlapping with Toyotas. Why get a Scion XD when a Toyota Yaris was similar? By the early 2010s, Scion was starting to feel redundant. Toyota tried to revitalize Scion in the 2010s with new models. The highlight was the Scion FRS, launched 2012, a lightweight rear-wheel drive sports coupe developed with Subaru. The FRS was a hit with enthusiasts and brought some excitement back to the brand. As an FRS owner, I can say it was a blast to drive, truly a bright spot for Scion. They also introduced the tiny IQ city car, which never caught on in the US, and later the Scion IA sedan, Scion IM hatchback around 2015. Essentially rebadged models from Mazda and Toyota's European lineup. Aside from the FRS, none of these new additions made a big splash. By the mid-2000s, Scion sales were a fraction of what they once were. The writing was on the wall. The experiment had run its course. And in 2016, Toyota decided to just pull the plug completely on Scion. That's it. Zilch, nothing more. The announcement came that the brand would be discontinued and folded back into Toyota. It was sad news for fans of Scion, but not exactly unexpected. Toyota absorbed most of Scion's remaining models into the main lineup. The FRS was rebadged the Toyota 86, continuing on as the affordable sports car we know today. The Scion IA became a Toyota Yaris sedan, and the IM became a Toyota Corolla hatchback. The TC and others were discontinued. By the end of 2016, Scion was gone from showrooms. After 13 years, the little brand that had burst onto the scene had fizzled out. Scion's legacy was a mix of hits and lessons. It proved Toyota could break out of its comfort zone and appeal to younger drivers, at least for a while. It also showed how quickly tastes can change in the car world, and how hard it is to keep a cool brand cool. But wait, you guys, the story doesn't end here. In late 2025, I was at the SEMA show with Toyota, and they unexpectedly resurrected the Scion name in a completely new way. They unveiled the Scion 01 concept, not a car or SUV, but a side-by-side UTV off-road buggy. And it's sick, and it's the most powerful side-by-side ever built, if they actually build more than one. The Scion 01 is a wild off-road machine, a two-seat dune buggy-style vehicle with chunky tires, a beefy roll cage, and futuristic styling. It's powered by a hybrid setup, a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine plus electric motors, pushing out over 300 horsepower. It even has a silent mode to cruise on electric power only, perfect for sneaking through the woods or not disturbing the campsite. So why bring back the Scion name for this? I mean, Toyota says Scion was always about being a test bed for creativity and reaching new audiences. The Scion 01 is definitely an experiment, Toyota's first foray into the power sports off-road side-by-side market. So the name, it kind of fits, but calling it Scion, Toyota is signaling that this is something fun, different, and geared towards enthusiasts like you and me, and, you know, people that just love Scion as a whole. For now, the Scion 01, it's just a concept. No word on production plans yet, but seeing that Scion badge again on such an unexpected vehicle has a lot of us excited. It shows that Toyota hasn't forgotten the spirit of Scion, doing something out of the box to get enthusiasts and young buyers absolutely pumped. And guys, as you can tell with this story that I spent days researching, I mean, the story of Scion is a complete roller coaster. It was the ideal first car brand for a lot of us, if you remember. I mean, sporty looks, quirky designs, Toyota reliability, low insurance costs, and tons of aftermarket mods that you could do by yourself. And that was before being a YouTube mechanic was really even a thing. But most importantly, Scion, it was affordable. Scion, they proved that Toyota could take a risk and create something genuinely different that resonated with young people, at least for a while. Its downfall shows how fast trends can shift, and what's cool one decade might not be the next, but the lesson from Scion lived on. Toyota and other automakers learned to be more dynamic and youth-focused in their marketing and design. Just look at how much edgier Toyota's mainstream cars have become. Yeah, they're pretty good looking too, especially those Lexis. And now, with the Scion 01, the name gets a second life in a new arena. It's a totally different direction, but it carries the same ethos of fun and experimentation. As a former Scion owner and fan, I am just happy to see Scion back in really any form. The little brand that once could might just find a new way to shine on dirt trails instead of city streets, and that's a comeback I think I and you can get behind. So if you enjoyed this little deep dive, like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and remember to go to winthisIdealCar.com to sign up to win your dream car plus cash. Also, check out some of these Ideal vids over here. I'm Brad Danger. This is Ideal. We'll catch you next week, and promise me one thing: keep living the Ideal lifestyle.